24 of the most shocking crimes committed by professional wrestlers when wrestlers take their antics outside of the ring. 1. Lex Luger. 2003 was not a good year for Lex Luger. He was arrested for domestic abuse on his then-girlfriend and wrestling celebrity Miss Elizabeth. 2 days later, he was arrested for driving under the influence. A month later, Luger was arrested while investigating the drug overdose death of Miss Elizabeth. 2. Matt Morgan. Matt Morgan pulled alongside a woman who cut him off on the road and stated that she better be glad he wasn't a police officer. After copying his license plate, the woman reported him as impersonating an officer. 3. Disco Inferno. Glenn Gilberti, better known as Disco Inferno, was arrested in 2007 in a gambling sting in Roswell, Georgia. The poker game was taking place in the basement of a house at the time. 4. Billy Joe Travis. Billy Joe Travis was arrested on air during a match for not paying his child support. Billy hadn't been paying his child support to his ex-wife for some time. At the time, however, he was working with the USWA in Memphis. When the police arrived to take him into custody, at the same time, Jerry the King Lawler, who was in charge at the time, decided to use the footage for his program. 5. William Regal. When he was working in the WCW, William Regal was arrested on a plane for becoming so extremely drunk that he began urinating on a flight attendant. 6. Ric Flair. The one and only Nature Boy had arrest warrants issued for Flair after a road rage incident took place in Charlotte, North Carolina. Flair allegedly got out of his car, grabbed a motorist by the neck, and completely kicked the door off the motorist's sport utility vehicle. 7. Johnny Grunge. Johnny Grunge was one half of the Public Enemy, an oddly popular tag team in WCW and ECW. He was arrested in 1996 for getting drunk and stealing one of the WCW production vans. 8. Vader. Vader was arrested in Kuwait while on a morning show. He was told to throw a fit and grab the interviewer when asked if wrestling was fake. Apparently, the interviewer was not in on the plan, and he was charged $164 for the incident. 9. The Big Show. The Big Show, who was working in WCW as the Giant, at the time was arrested and detained for allegedly exposing himself to a hotel employee in Memphis, Tennessee. He was later released due to lack of evidence. 10. New Jack. The insanely dangerous New Jack was arrested for stabbing his opponent with a knife during a match when the man broke kayfabe and started working too rough. New Jack isn't prone to controversial real-life attacks on other wrestlers. 11. Buff Bagwell. Buff Bagwell was arrested for assaulting a stagehand who asked him to move out of a doorway so he could pass. 12. Ken Patera. Ken Patera threw a boulder through the window of the McDonald's for not serving him because it was after hours. He later assaulted the police officer that was sent to arrest him, which landed him 2 years in jail. 13. Juventud Guerrera. While working in WCW in 2000, Guerrera was arrested at a hotel after an incident in which he was discovered naked and screaming in a hallway, high on PCP, and then attacked police officers who had arrived to detain him. 14. Scott Hall. No stranger to legal and law troubles, Scott Hall was arrested in 2012 for allegedly beating his girlfriend while being in a drunken state. Hall denied these charges. 15. Nick Gage. Nick Gage robbed a bank in New Jersey. he didn't think to wear a mask, and because he was seen on TV wrestling, they were able to identify him. 16. Blackjack Mulligan. Blackjack Mulligan and his son were arrested for counterfeiting charges and served jail time for them. 17. Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is one of the most popular wrestlers of all time, but he has had a slew of DWI arrests starting from as early as 2007 to the most recent being in August of 2013. 18. Jake the Snake Roberts. Just as well known for his drug problem as he is for in-ring work, Jake Roberts was arrested in 2005 in Florida for cocaine possession. 19. Matt Hardy. In 2014, Matt Hardy was arrested for a brutal and bloody domestic fight between him and his girlfriend. They had filed restraining orders against each other, but have since reconciled. 20. Jeff Hardy. 2009 was not a good year for Jeff Hardy. He was arrested on charges of trafficking in controlled prescription pills and possession of anabolic steroids. When police searched his home, they found over 262 Vicodin prescription pills, 180 Soma prescription pills, 555 milliliters of anabolic steroids, a residual amount of powder cocaine, and drug paraphernalia. 21. Dick Slater. Dick Slater was found guilty of punching his ex-girlfriend in the back of the head and stabbing her with a butcher knife. 22. Jose Gonzalez. One of the most notorious moments in wrestling history involved Gonzalez and the death of Bruiser Brody. The two apparently had a fight in a locker room shower after a wrestling event that led to the death of Bruiser. 23. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Arguably next to Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold helped revolutionize wrestling and made it extremely popular in the 1990s. In 2002, he was arrested and charged with domestic abuse with his wife of 3 years, who was also a wrestling personality. He was given a year's probation. 24. Hardbody Harrison. In 2008, Hardbody here was sentenced to life in prison on account of holding women as prisoners and forcing them into prostitution. He was also charged with conspiracy, aggravated sexual abuse, and witness tampering.